Hi, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Reading with Mrs. Durham today. Today is Wednesday, November 18th. Like I said, we're doing reading, and we're going to be working on pages 83 and 84 out of your workbook. And you need your literature anthology book, also known as your big red reading book that has your lizard on the front. So go ahead and get your big reading book out. And yeah, page 83 and 84. So while you guys are getting that out, I am going to review our vocabulary words for the day. Well, for the week. But do you remember what this is? This is the word enjoy. Enjoy. E-N-J-O-Y. Enjoy. The next one is leadership. Leadership. Remember how they had to have leadership, and usually like their coach probably helped lead them to victory. Leadership. Next we have admire. Admire. Somebody that you look up to. Connections are people that will help you get places or people that you know. Connections. And rely. Somebody you can trust and rely on is somebody who can help you. So, do you remember those vocabulary words? Which vocabulary word is your favorite? Mine is enjoy because I just really enjoy the picture of the kitty cat. All right, so today we are kind of going back. We're going to listen to a story. This week we're talking about all about doing better in our community, making changes, talking about leaders. So today we are going to start off by rereading our story about Martin Luther King Jr. So let me go grab that and I'll be right back. All right. The story of Martin Luther King Jr. We read this story on Monday, so we are rereading it this time. And as I reread it for you, I want you to see if there's new things, since you know what the story is about. I want you to see if there's new things or little details that you picked up on in this story the second time that we've read through it. Okay? So the story of Martin Luther King Jr. So listen as we reread it, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. by Johnny Ray Moore, illustrated by Amy Woomer. Every January, we celebrate the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. Do you know why we remember him? Martin was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. His father was a preacher and his mother was a school teacher. Martin liked to go to school. He always did more than his teachers asked him to. Did you notice that we saw this picture at the beginning? Okay. Do you notice that as we're rereading it, everyone in the background's kind of like, whoa, like he's doing a lot of work. He stood out. Martin's school was old. It needed a lot of fixing, but the school for the white children was new. Do you notice in this, as we read it this time, how things are broken and falling apart maybe on this one? Martin and his mom and dad liked to eat out, but some restaurants would not serve them. Do you notice that there's a difference of color of who is out walking the streets and who's eating in the restaurants? I know, sad. Martin could not drink from all the water fountains. He had to find one with the sign that read colored. You notice the water fountain? How do you feel this time reading it, knowing what happened? Do you feel as in shock? Are you still like processing that was our country? This made Martin angry. He wanted to go to the best school. He wanted to eat at any restaurant. And he wanted to drink from any water fountain. Did you see the picture of him down there? He was angry. Did you hear that? He was angry. Something made him upset, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, how did you feel this time as you're listening to it? Like, do you feel the same? When Martin grew up, he became a preacher. One day, he spoke to more than 200,000 people. Did you notice this time when we read it, he became a preacher like his dad was? His dad was the same thing. Martin said, I have a dream that my 4 children will not be judged by the color of their skin. So that tells you that he had 4 kids. Man, there's a lot of details we can pick out when you reread a story. Martin made his dream come true. Now we can all eat in any restaurant. So notice how now the restaurant is happy in the scene. We can drink from any water fountain, and we can go to any school. And dream our dreams just like Martin Luther King Jr. Gave us the freedom that we can all dream big things, right? And that your dreams could come true, that you can make your dreams happen. If you fight for them, you can make your dreams happen. So good, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. What details did you pick out this time? I stopped and talked about some of the ones that I was noticing, like that he had 4 kids, or that he did the same job that his dad did when he was little. What was your detail that you picked out that you don't know, that you necessarily heard the first time that we read it? Good story. Still, it's just such a good story. It's such a great, powerful story of a good, very important leader in our history. All right. So, who was the characters in that story? Mostly it was Martin Luther King Jr., right? You could say his mom or his dad. Where was the setting? There was a couple different settings when he was growing up. There was a setting at a school, at a restaurant, at a water fountain, right? At the Lincoln Memorial is where he gave his speech at. That would be a setting or a place where that happened at. Okay, and some of the events that happened was that he had a dream, that he worked hard in school. He gave a big speech. He changed the country, right? Those are events that happened in that story. So something that we're going to do a little different today is we're going to do just a little bit of reading practice. Reading practice that I'm just going to write one sentence. And we're just going to practice reading it kind of over and over again just to practice the same words. But it's going to help our reading fluency. And fluency means like how comfortable you are reading. So I'm going to write a sentence on the board. And then we're going to read it a couple times over and over again to practice the words that we see in it. Okay? I will ask her to bring a sled. Maybe they're going to go sledding. I will ask her to bring a sled. I will ask her to bring a sled. Can you say that with me a couple times? We're going to read it, okay? I will ask her to bring a sled. I will ask her to bring a sled. Let's do a little bit faster this time, okay? I will ask her to bring a sled. Do it again. I will ask her to bring a sled. Now say it with a little emotion. Now that we know the words, we're going to say it a little more with emotion. I will ask her to bring a sled. Good. I will ask her to bring a sled. Practice really does help make you better. You probably didn't know how to read that sentence when I first wrote it on the board. But now you know that it says, I will ask her to bring a sled. And when you practice it over and over again, you really recognize those words and you know how to say that sentence fluently. Or, in other words, kind of with you're comfortable saying it or you're confident saying it. Like you know what you're saying. Okay? Good job reading that. Can you read it one more time for me? Awesome. All right. I am going to move over to my smartboard. I want you to get out your big red reading book because we are going to read a story together that is called Nell's Books. Nell's Books, and it's about cute little story. So go ahead and get that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. I have Nell's Books open. It is on page 64 and 65. So it has a cute little elephant. It has like a pig, a little puppy, kitty cat. some birds, some mice. So find this page. It's called Nell's Books. Pause me while you find it. Okay, hopefully you found this page and are ready to read it together. So this is a fantasy story. Fantasy means that it is made up. Okay? It is made up and that it's kind of like a fairy tale. So kind of like how we've read like the Three Little Pigs, how it's going to be kind of silly. It's not really like a realistic story, not anything that's probably going to happen in real life. I don't know if elephants sit and read books, right? So, but our question that we are been talking about all this week is, how do people help out in the community? How do people help out? And we're going to read about an elephant who loves books. So, this is called Nell's Books. Nell. Okay, that's her name, is Nell's Books. This is written by Miriam Cohen. Miriam Cohen is our author. Illustrated by Emily Cholot. I'm going to say it Cholot. Okay. Actually, before I go, what do you think the story's going to be about? Just by looking at this. What's your prediction? Or prediction means, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen in the story? Those are some really good ideas. Something with a lot of reading, but something about all these animals being together. Maybe they're having like a book club or something. We'll find out. I'm going to read it, so if you want to follow along with your finger while I read, that is an awesome, awesome strategy. If you want to try to read with me, you are more than welcome to do that too. Nell liked to read. She liked it a lot. Nell could sit and read all day long. "Will you play with us, Nell?" called Cat and Dog. "Shh," said Nell. "I am reading." Oh, okay, so she's busy reading. They want to play. "Will you shop with me, Nell?" asked Pig. Oh, she wants to go shopping. "Shh," said Nell. "This is good." "That Nell is not fun at all," said Dog. "She just reads," said Cat. "She will not do a thing." Next page. Then one day it rained. Dog and Cat set up a tent. Pig got dressed up for fun. "This is good," said Dog. "Yes," said Pig and Cat. It rained the next day, too. "We want to go out," said Dog. "We are sick of tents and dressing up," said Pig and Cat. "Aw, that looks like a really cool tent, though. That would be fun." I can see, though, do you get antsy, too, when it rains, or if it's cold outside and you can't play outside, you get kind of antsy, like you want to go outside? Nell went to her shelf. "Here, Dog," she said. "I think you will like this." "Yuck," said Dog. Why does he say yuck? Maybe he doesn't like reading? I don't know why you would not. "This will be fun for Pig," said Nell. "Cat, you will like this a lot." "Ick," said Cat and Pig. "Shh," said Nell. "Let's read." They're not really giving her a chance, are they? They're just telling her, no, we don't want to do it. That's not very nice. Dog read in his tent. Pig read in a tub. Cat read in a pot. Look, she's sitting in a plant. They read all day long. "This is fun," said Cat and Dog and Pig. Oh, so they tried it. Sometimes you might not think you like things, but then when you try it, you realize that it is awesome. The next day, Nell heard clanging. She heard banging. "Nell, come quick," called the Dog. "We did this for you," said Dog. You can hand out books to all, said Cat. Nell is good at that, said Pig. That is just my wish, said Nell. Look, they made her like a truck and it says Nell's Books on it. Aww. That reminds me of the donkey that delivers. You remember the donkey that does the library on the back of it from our cards we read yesterday? They made her a truck that delivers books. Nell got in. Let's hand out books, she said. Shh, said Dog and Cat and Pig. Let us read. That is funny. Because at first they were like, come on, why won't you let us play now? Why won't you go shopping with us? And now they're like, shh, we're reading. So they're doing the same thing that she was. Aww, the end. What a sweet story. I love that story. Because we talked yesterday how Luis and the donkey went around to all those different communities and brought library books to all the kids who couldn't get to them. This is kind of what Nell is going to do. She's got Nell's books. So she's able to take those books, go deliver them all to all the other kids, so then everybody has a chance to read and love reading just like Nell does. That's awesome. What a good community helper. That's just a cute story. I love that story. If you have time to go and reread that story, I want you to try to reread it on your own and see if you could do it, okay? All right, we're now going to pull up. I'm going to kind of jump around, okay? We're going to do page 84 first. So go ahead and turn it to page 84. I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right, it looks like this. So this is the back side of it. But we're going to go back to Nell's story, and this is what we're going to use for our characters in our setting, okay? So normally we would do it on the board, but since you have this paper and it's Wednesday, we're going to do it together on here. So, who was one of our characters? Who was one of our characters? Who was the big character? We talked about her the whole story. Nell. N-E-L-L. Nell. N-E-L-L. That was our elephant, right? Who loved reading. Okay, so Nell was in a lot of places. But what setting do we want to talk about with her? What setting do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about her in their house? No, she was in the house. She was in the house. She was reading, remember when it was really rainy? Oh, I kind of gave away the event. So Nell was in the house. Events means what was she doing while she was in the house? What was she doing in there? She was in the house. She was reading, wasn't she? She was reading, and we can say that she was reading and she wasn't doing what her friends were wanting her to do, was she? She was just reading and she was focused on that. She wasn't doing what they wanted and they were kind of getting frustrated. So she was reading lots of books, wasn't she? Lots of books. She was reading lots of books. So Nell was in the house and she was reading lots of books. That's what she was doing. Okay, go ahead and write that down or pause me so that way you can finish writing it down. Who's another character? Who's another character? The cat. Yeah. Cat. We don't really have a name. We just have cat, right? Cat. What was the cat doing? Think back to our story that we read. Where do we want to... The cat was in a lot of different places. So where do we want to talk about the cat in? I know a place that I laughed at where the cat was at. Do you remember? When the cat was in the pot, right? The cat was in the pot. He was just sitting there. What was the cat doing in the pot? What was it doing? What was the event that was happening? She was reading the book Nell gave to her, wasn't she? Yeah. She was reading The book from Nell. And it's a capital N because that's her name. She was reading the book from Nell. And there's two L's there. It just kind of looks kind of... It looked kind of silly. So first, Nell is in the house. She's reading lots of books. Then the cat was hiding in the pot, reading the book from Nell that she gave to her. Oh, I think that's my favorite part because she's just so cute sitting on that flower. What's going on here? Yes, I want to save this. Oh boy, there we go. Pull it back up. How about the last one? Do we want to choose the pig or the dog? Pig or the dog? You want to do the pig? Okay, we'll do the pig. Where was it taking place at? Let's talk about the end of the story. Where was the pig at? In Nell's truck. There's that apostrophe S that we talked about last week. Nell's truck, which we know that it's a library now, right? It's a new library. Library truck to deliver books around town, but we're going to call it Nell's truck for short. And what was the pig doing? What was the pig doing on that truck? There's a couple different things. We could say that they were helping Nell give books out, or you can say at the end where they were reading in the back. You choose. You choose that last event. You can say they were helping deliver books, they were reading more books, they were just riding in the back of the truck. You choose. Sorry, my smartboard is having a hard time right now. Okay, go ahead and pause me now if you need to finish filling this out. Remember, you get to choose the last event that happens. Okay, you choose the last spot. Alrighty, and then when you are done, I'm going to have you unpause me and turn me to page 83, which is the other side of your paper. But it's kind of wrapping it up because it's kind of phonics, so I wanted to make sure we finished all of the reading together while we were kind of in the reading mindset. So go ahead and turn it to the other side. Alrighty, this is the other side. And like I said, it's some phonics. And it's not too bad. We're going to do just one example of this one and one example of this one because you guys, I know, can do this. Circle the word that names each picture. Okay, is this a brush, or a brick? Is that a brush or a brick? That's a brush. So we're going to circle brush. So you can look at those three pictures and choose which word is correct. Okay? This week we've been talking about sh and th. So some of those words match that. And then at the very bottom, we're going to use words from the box to complete each sentence. So we have the choice of the word math, fish, sting, think. There's only 2 questions, so we're not going to use all of them. So what do you think? A blank can swim. A math can swim. A fish can swim. A sting can swim. A think can swim. A fish. Yes, I agree. Right here, F, I, and then there's the sh, S, H, fish, fish. And then the last one says, we have blank in school. We have blank in school. So I will let you do that one. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today for reading. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you have any questions, like always, just let me know. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.